There are times I know it can be hard to get up and go. You can always count on those beside you. When you're far from home, it can be hard to go alone. Bring a friend. Oh, bring a friend. When you're on that road, you can share your heavy load. Every day can be a new adventure. When you're far from home, it can be scary to go alone. Bring a friend. Oh, bring a friend. Leave a vote of me question.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to this week's brand spanking new episode of the League of Ultimate Questing Battle Axis. For those of you not in the Discord, I totally lost track of time because I got engrossed in writing up some stuff for one of the contractors I'm working with on some of the TPK book stuff. Anyway, lost track of time. Law messaged me and I hopped on. So I still haven't had time to fix the chat in the stream layout. It's still broken, so I apologize for that. I meant to fix it. And hey Resh, hey Wolf, hey Boils. I refuse to address you by your horrid human names. So I will do my best not to. Such a interesting transition still from Twitch to YouTube. Gosh, we're already 10 minutes past time, but I'll give everyone just another couple minutes and start the audio at quarter after the hour. I apologize again for being late, but yeah, how's everyone's Monday going? Mine was a lot of fun. Which is, we've been working real hard on this book lately, and today I went and had an in-person meeting with our editor, and just to go over really an update on where everything is, because we haven't chatted since before I went on vacation. And always fun, because I think our editor is a super cool person. But yeah, just juggling a lot of things. That is fair. What game are you playing, Savedman? Are you in Tears of the Kingdom or Diablo 4? Those are my only two guesses, but I think there's a bunch of stuff that just came out. I'm playing neither, but all my friends are on Diablo right now. Funny story that I heard from a friend of mine. Him and his wife both game. I game with them. They're old friends. But, he just finished up Tears of the Kingdom. And so he just started Diablo when it came out on Thursday. I think it was this last Thursday. And he was sitting there playing on his PC. And his wife came in. And she said, "Oh, what are you playing?" And he said, "Diablo 4. And I'm going to embellish this, but she said something like, "Yeah, no duh." Like, no kidding, dipshit. What class are you playing? And I hung out with them and got some drinks the other night, and they kind of told me that story, and I thought that was funny. So thought I'd share it since I had a minute. Oh, 3 books. I'm definitely going to read once I'm done doing this one. It's not even like, okay, I will admit I'm behind on my portion of the writing. That is my fault. I'm gonna try to get it done this week. I'm pretty sure I'm going to, but honestly, the last couple of weeks juggling all of the art commissions for this book, I swear to God, just doing that is a full-time job. just all the reaching out and conversations and contracts and providing all the descriptions that they need. But yeah, we're commissioning art, so it's at the same time it's one of the fun parts. Just it's gonna be cool when it's out, but I'm dying a little bit. Oh well, this is a through line every time I talk about video games, where I really like the retro games and I don't really like the new ones. Huge fan of Diablo 2, personally. Didn't love 3 as much. Didn't feel like 1 or 2. But I haven't played 4, so... Yeah, it's the book for TPK. And I'll right now it's time to play the episode, so I'm going to do that. But when I get back, I'll talk about it if y'all want to. But let's get this started.
Welcome back to EXPN, your home for up-to-the-minute coverage of the League of Ultimate Questing, or possibly the final time. I am your host, Paige Theta Rowe. And with me as always is my close personal friend and cosmic arm wrestling champion, Sarge Hardbody.
With Warren and Dirk returning to Zenith, Paige and I are ready to vamoose. But before that happens, we got a lot of news to catch up on.
Indeed. Since their return, the fallow crowd has dominated the news cycle. Axis quests on hold, off-world scries archived for later release, and a never-ending stream of press conferences from spokespersons justifying their decision to scry so controversial a quest.
The administration is in shambles. Tonatiuh, Gorthanox, and Mule representatives are eating crow for their part in the election of Glen Armistice.
Meanwhile, the AAA has had its business license and administrative status suspended pending a full investigation. Scott Humphreys, paralegal and personal assistant to Glen Armistice, has assumed full responsibility in his employer's absence, claiming that he, quote, was Mr. Armistice's right-hand man.
I don't know about you, Paige, but I use my right hand to wipe.
Ew, what? No. Gross.
Oh, I forgot. You box up your waste and return it to your home plane.
Better than 3D printing a shame log after every cup of hot bean water.
Can't argue with that.
In any case, the satellite is in shambles and the administration is without a clear leader. As such, a special meeting has been called to elect a temporary chairperson to head up the cleanup.
I can't wait. Who's it gonna be? Doug seems to have a real head on his shoulders.
The last time I saw Doug, he was eating paint chips before the Bowery youth could be tempted.
Well, that sounds nice, I guess.
Except no one in the Bowery had any intention of eating paint chips until he started doing it.
Look, I said he had a head on his shoulders, not a good one.
Whoever is selected to lead the commission, they will have a lot of work ahead of them. Speaking of work, let's hear from our sponsors.
The industrial nightmare of Glen Armistice's lab reeks of rust and black magic. The extractor hums, casting fuchsia light upon the vile mechanisms of the chairs which might have stolen your very essences. Dirk Bradley stands like the human embodiment of a TGI Fridays, despondent but colorful.
Fuck off.
His colleague, Warren Rusborough, steps forward, his jet black melanistic flesh interrupted with slashes from days of torment at the hand of his captor.
Dirk. Dirk, are you all right?
Sorry, what?
Stay with us, Dirk.
I'm having a time.
We're all having a time, Dirk. Let's keep it together.
It's very big, Rust. It's very big.
It's very big, Dirk.
I have a name.
He's staring at his father? Question mark. So I guess I'm a god.
Nope. Let's not think like that.
I mean, kind of.
Up.
No. It makes sense. It makes so much sense. It's why everything always works out for me. Rust, I'm your god.
Nope. Again, let's think about this more logically. There is some divinity to what you are, apparently. But visions of grandeur do not belong in every bag. You are, for what it seems, a plural in some way. A manufactured plural.
Is that why every time I go to my dream, it's always just that place? Again?
That might be part of it.
That's exactly right. I don't mean to interrupt. Do you have questions about plurality?
Okay, so, if I'm a god, does that mean I can, make people do stuff?
No, quite the opposite, in fact.
Wait, what?
That's part of being a celebrity, Dirk.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like that time I gave that guy a quarter and he tried to wash my windshield, even though I wasn't driving anything.
That's just money, Dirk.
So money is God. Got it.
I mean,
I have heard that one before.
that does touch basis on several theses I've written.
Look, I don't know what you're gonna do with him, and gestures towards Glenn.
I've got a few ideas, cracking his knuckles.
Armistice just kind of grabs his ribs and says, "There's nothing you can do to me. Not that matters anyway."
I don't know about that. We got a lot of practice solving family problems.
I think we should all be reminded that we are on Scry. And that our quest is extraction, not extermination.
I've always liked you, Gaspar.
That is not the compliment you think it is.
Oh, shit, zing! Got him! He raises a hand.
Warren slowly pushes it back down. I think it's important that we get Dirk out of this horrible place, and the rest of us.
My house?
Looking around.
I mean, this isn't my house. It's not like my bedroom or anything like that, but this is my house. I grew up here.
Wish I was going to put a little finger up. Pardon me. I got two important questions. Where are we? And how do we get out?
You're in the lovely Beta D22. It's a demiplane. It's not very impressive, but we can basically do whatever we want with it.
Can we leave?
Fine. Great. First time I've had a house guest in maybe 30 years, but that's cool.
We don't... Mr. Bradley, I'm sorry, we don't have to right now. We just, extraction, it says we gotta get you back to your booth where all the fine people can hear your lovely baritone voice.
I mean, he's not going anywhere. I would hang.
Fair. The commission rarely allows time for dinner parties. All right. Best you go. Is there anything I can give you? Oh, I know. Your mortal essence. You probably need that, right?
That would be nice.
I think the chair did take a good chunk of soul from us.
I'm sure Rusty can figure it out. Huh?
I'm missing a few years, too. Can you bring those back?
You overestimate my knowledge of magical chairs.
I don't know. That one time we played musical chairs, you did a pretty good job.
You swore we would never speak of it. I'll give it a look.
As Warren walks over to the control system, he does a little fidgeting around.
Oh, the instructions are written in Abyssal. It's all right. I speak Abyssal.
And realizes that there is actually a way to put your essence back.
And I have something for you, Gaspar.
Warren gestures for Gaspar to stand in the center of the mechanism.
Did it take something extra from me?
More like returning something extra.
I like the sound of this.
I thought you might.
Warren goes over to Armistice, picks him up, shoves him inside of one of the chairs, and straps him in. A few moments later, and after a few button pushes, the machine kicks on, the fuchsia light brightens, and you feel your spiritual essence invigorated.
My spiritual essence is very deflated naturally.
You've gained the ability Soul Harvest. Gaspar has the ability to lash out with his spiritual hunger. He gains a natural spell attack using his charisma modifier. The attack has a range of 10 feet and deals 1d6 charisma, 1d6 plus charisma mod in damage, psychic damage specifically. You then heal an amount of soul wound damage equal to the damage dealt.
Ooh.
My soul is erect.
That's a first. That's exciting.
That's badass.
Turns out all I had to do was basically recalibrate the machine to do exactly what it did to us, but allow you to do that. And thankfully, Glenn put in all the legwork and wrote a lot of charts.
You're welcome.
More tools to work with. I like it.
Penelope, it seems there's a little here for you as well.
Oh, but I didn't lose anything.
More than you know.
As Nellie stands in the center, and the machine is activated, you feel a greater sense of connection to your plurality. Your laurel now has a new upgrade. The wearer of the laurel has an additional spell known. After spending 1 hour with a creature, the bearer may make a DC 16 insight check to learn one spell that creature knows or has prepared. Once per day, the wearer may change the spell known to another spell from the same target.
That's very cool.
So many gifts from Daddy. This evil, soul-sucking chair is a lot more versatile than you'd think.
I think this belongs to you. Dirk walks over to the place where the rapier that Glenn was wielding fell to the ground. He picks it up and hands it to Iavos.
A sword?
That's the rapier of wit.
He takes it in his hand and studies it.
It is almost as if it is an extension of yourself. You suddenly understand how someone like Gaspar can wield a weapon with such elegance and efficiency. This +2 rapier is very rare and requires attunement. It uses intelligence for attacks, and any attuned creature with a spellcasting ability using intelligence as its modifier is proficient in this weapon. Once per long rest, the attuned creature may spend a bonus action to swap one wizard spell they have prepared with another of the same level. The creature must succeed on an intelligence saving throw equal to 12 plus the spell level, and failure causes 2d6 psychic damage but does not expend the ability. So if you realize you didn't have something prepared that you needed to, you could just swap a Rooney.
In this moment of reverence, while all of you are looking at your new abilities, your new items, the new things you got, over by Wusha's chair, you hear as Wusha is sucking on one of the pipes like a great big Capri Sun straw. He looks over at everybody and says, "Think my chair's broke. How about old me? I know I paid the price for breaking free, but, what you got for the Wooster?"
Other than the taste of dirty old chair?
Which admittedly is a considerable reward.
Cross.
Think I've had my fill of sucking on dirty old things for one lifetime. You know, there is a friend I'd be worried about leaving behind. They wanted so much to experience more of the world, and they're so close to my heart.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. We can hang out anytime.
Don't worry, your voice will always be in my ear somewhere.
It always is. It's just the voice. Nobody wants the man.
I'd like to go sailing with you sometime. Aside from that, there was this fantastic knocker.
Dirk looks down at his own chest.
Mood.
Almost. You're close. I bet I could stick her there and she'd be perfectly happy with it. Her name was Long. Her name...
Long.
Yavos, help out.
Lady Dorabella Oakwood von Maplegate.
That was the one.
You want a door knocker?
Well, she was so sweet.
Is subjective.
I mean, okay. Rusty, can you pull some knockers out of my fancy dream palace?
I don't know.
Dirk goes over to the chair and sits down and starts rubbing his temples.
If we don't stop him, he'll do this for hours. Let's see. Bringing something from this place back to the material. That's gonna deplete what's left in this machine. Are you sure you want a door knob?
It's either that or the bucket helmet, and the bucket helmet won't speak to me.
Yeah, but if you talk into the bucket helmet, it's almost like you have a friend.
And if you put it close to your ear, you can hear the ocean.
I just hear the cleaning lady yelling at me.
You still didn't really get a gift. Oh, I have an idea. I think I have something for you, Wusha. I go through Glenn's pockets.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. I don't care. It takes a little while, but as you dig through his pockets, you do find something. It's a small metallic rectangle with a hinge on top. When you open it, it looks like a standard lighter. And he goes, "No, my water lighter. It's so cool."
A water lighter?
I mean, it's nothing. It's just a lighter. Give it back.
No.
As you flick the flint, it literally lights with water.
Oh, this is cool. You're going to love this, Wusha. And, to the victors go the spoils. Do we want any of his other stuff?
I do feel spoiled.
Come on, don't volunteer me for more crap.
What do you think, Gaspar? Do you want his shoes?
The lighter that you have can be held up to any object, and it will immediately begin to dampen at a rate of about 1 foot per 6 seconds.
A wet maker box!
It can also be held up to any vessel, and it will slowly start to fill it at a rate of about a gallon every minute.
Oh, jeez.
Hell yeah!
Happy quest day, you big dumb idiot.
Thank you.
That said, I think I've figured out how to make this door thing happen.
I found that you just turn the knob.
Nope, slapping his hand away.
Wusha is going to beam eagerly like an excited child.
After some fiddling and some button presses, the center of the machine manifests Lady Dorabella. Oh, dear! I'm alive! You're real! I'm proper! You're here! Put me on a door and show me the world!
I'm going to pick her up, look at Warren and Dirk. Where's the door?
Why not bring her back to the mansion, Wusha? You can put her in your bedroom.
I have a door for you!
Yes, deep underground in your bedroom.
We're not going back to the mansion. That old stuffy turd palace is not worth your excellence. We're going to my place. He strides over to a door and throws it open. Outside is just a place. It's grass. There's trees. There's really nothing interesting. It looks like a wide stretch of boring Scottish highlands. On the hill, you see a massive castle. It looks pretty nice. A little old, a little run down. It looks like it might have belonged to some kind of baron of whatever this place might have been. It's a little on the Gothic side, and everything has this kind of weird, vague Eastern European vibe that none of you are finding particularly appealing. But generally, it's a pretty place. However, at the base of the cliff on which this massive castle sits is a small hut. Isn't the right word. Hut's a little too small. But house definitely isn't the right word either. You're guessing it's a little 2-bedroom cottage.
It's a love shack.
As you approach, you see that most of the decorations on the outside are made predominantly out of construction paper that have been cut out and slapped on. Most of them have been dipped in some kind of either polyurethane or a glue of some kind and seem to be seeping a sticky substance as it slowly gets rained on over the years. As Warren drags the commissioner towards Dirk's house, what are the rest of you doing?
Now, I realize that there's a lot that we've just experienced, but is everyone all right? The amount of damage that man was throwing around was impressive. And I'll just kind of generally tend to the wounds of my friends to make sure we're patched up enough to go exploring.
Was it pleasant? But I can guarantee you I've been through worse.
I took a bit of a tumble there, but I'm doing fine.
Are we supposed to be expecting more danger?
Always.
No danger here, just good times and fine tea. He walks into the house and you hear a loud clattering of objects, things falling to the ground, some glass breaking.
I have no faith in his words.
Welcome to my every waking moment.
As you walk inside, you see what is basically a groundskeeper's house that has been redecorated. Again, we're talking predominantly glitter, macaroni, construction paper. It looks like a kindergartner had at this place with aggressive fervor. He reaches into the cupboard, and understand this is not a refrigerated cupboard, and pulls out a jug of milk and a bottle of Second Wind energy drink, which he then begins to boil on a pot.
Oh, look, his slime collection.
How does he know the recipe for chunky grog?
The recipe's just in your heart. Everybody knows that.
Let the ancestors tell you.
As much as I welcome some misguided hospitality, we should discuss whether or not we're going back home soon. We have a lot of things to, shall we say, report to the League regarding this one, gesturing towards Glen Armistice.
That all sounds well and good, but you know that we have to tell Hal. We have to tell him all of this.
You're right, my dear. Of course, you're thinking more clearly than I. And everyone back home already saw what happened. It was on Scry.
Tell him what sudden and violent end seems appropriate.
So you want to go to an archangel's domain, expose her, and defy her wishes that she has for her son? I'm so in.
As much as I want to make that bastard's life as difficult as possible and deny him any destiny his mum might think is written out for him, I don't want to be there. I don't want to go. I don't want to see him. He can rot.
Part of me feels very similarly, Wuxia, like that cutting all ties is the best option, but perhaps it's that we've known Hal for a bit longer, and we've been through a lot together. I'll never forgive the things he did to us. Even if he was misguided, he almost ended us completely, without remorse.
But Hal didn't act alone. I was also involved in that, and I had a chance to do better. Surely he deserves another chance as well.
But you're not like him. You've got lots of yous, and you don't got choice over what lots of yous do.
To be fair, Hal does have the lack of choice in comparison with Penelope. He's been guided by his mother for longer than any of us thought. Clearly from before the time he was born, according to this, holding up the paper that Hal left me.
Penny Dreadful is part of me. She still is, in certain ways.
No, I refuse to accept that. You're alive and he's a tool.
Whatever Hal is, Wuxia, I'm worse. You have to accept that. You have to stop making permissions for me. Do you know why I hate Toontown so much?
'Cause everything has a face and it always comments when you shit on him.
Because it acts like it's this happy, whimsical place, but it's not. It's dangerous. It has this darkness underneath, and it's... Toontown is me, Wuxia. Toontown is everything I've been questioning about myself. Toontown is what keeps me up at night.
Iavos puts his hand on Nellie's shoulder warmly.
You have to stop making excuses for me. You all do. And she looks at Iavos.
Hot tea, ready to go. Dirk lays out an array of glasses, some that are decidedly not intended for hot drinks. A couple of plastic cups with funny faces on them, a mug that says World's Best Dads, and 2 wine glasses. What he pours into these glasses is a thick chartreuse color. Creamy and opaque.
Dirk, I am not drinking boiled soda milk out of a champagne flute.
Wuxia is going to grab one violently enough where it spills out over the side of his hands, walk toward the door of the cottage, go outside, and slam the door behind him as hard as he can.
As you slam the door, the entire shack suddenly takes on about a 2-degree slant. So what are we talking about?
The representative of Verata calls to order this session of the Administrative Council. First item of business, it should be lifting the ban on immigration. We have refugees that need entry.
I believe trade takes precedence. After all, without food and essential goods, we can't support new migrants or laborers.
I do not recall electing the devil to lead this session. I understand that bylaws can be a difficult thing to read through, but we've been rotating auxiliary council head duties since the first session of the administration, so it falls to me. Leave it to the lawyer to leverage the rules to his own benefit. The chair motions to cede his duties and powers to the spokesman for Mictlan. Second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Nay. Gotta be a hard nay for me.
Damn. They denied my motion. Sorry, Tone. You did that on purpose. I can't even imagine how.
Were we trying to do something here?
We were picking up the pieces left by Armistice.
A man you voted for.
An error in my calculations, to be sure. I figured they would wait longer to play his hand, but Goethe and his goons, the callow frown, forced it. Gorsinux, please. For one thing, they are Abscissa's goons, and for another, no amount of frustration justifies bad wordplay. Where are the Mule, Aura, and AAA representatives? We cannot decide any of these issues without a supermajority. Ah, yes. The AAA's probationary status excludes them from a supermajority, as we all know. Mule has given their proxy to Obsessive Vinculum due to her extensive employment of their services.
What can I say? I invest in my infrastructure.
Was that a dig at me?
A dig? Well, how would you know? You haven't broken ground on anything beneficial to your community since my friends fixed your little problem.
Obsessive, please. We can always make fun of Gorsinox later, behind his back, like we always do. For now, we have votes to count.
You haven't accounted for aura.
Quick as a cat, as always. That is because ours vote is only required for a supermajority on matters that address the cosmic balance. They can attend any session, of course, but if, say, they were tied up in a heated argument about what to do with a particularly large donation from a local spokesperson, they might be disinclined to respond to my invitation, which may have also been delivered to their able branch.
Are you all going to sit here and let this man manipulate the system so he can ram through sweeping changes without considering the bureaucratic process?
Yes?
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not in love with it, but better than the alternative.
I was just making sure all of our ducks were in a row. But what about Maven? Surely he must be included in any supermajority. He is, after all, one of the founders.
Indeed he must, which is why I would like to introduce his proxy. Please, welcome Rain Fallen Foe to the council. May she represent our client with dignity and grace.
My thanks to the spokesman for Verata. Shall we begin? The first item on the agenda, the release and reinstatement of Commissioner Isago Shigure.
We're about to witness a planar phenomenon, a keyhole between worlds that only marketing can penetrate. Join me as we glimpse into the Adverse.
Well, how are you kids doing in here?
We're bored.
Oh no, maybe we should go to Kid Zone Epic Fantasy Fungin. Kid Zone Epic Fantasy Fungin, the kid-friendly underground playhouse. Teach your kids about teamwork, preparation, and self-preservation in the Epic Fantasy Fungin, an endless replica dungeon made out of kid-safe foam padding and bright stimulating colors with simple but crucial puzzles. Dodge the squirt gun wall traps, leap over the bottomless ball pit, do battle with teddy bugbears, and defeat the nasty homework demon at the heart of the labyrinth. But don't take a wrong turn or you could be trapped for all eternity. And while the kids have their epic fun, you can kick back in the parents' lounge. They're over all the time, just waiting for me to let my guard down so they can trip me and strip my flesh. God, there's so many of them. More wine, madam. Just leave the bottle.
Mommy, we unearthed an ancient curse.
That's nice, sweetie. Kid Zone Epic Fantasy Fungin. Survival of the funnest.
Hey, LUQ cuties. Oh, sorry. I thought I smelled a rad nerd. Oh, wow, that's you! Are you new to the LUQ? That's awesome. But might I suggest starting from the beginning? We have so much content to share with the world, we would love for you to get to consume it all, dreading the approach of the cosmic evil known as the Wall, or being fully caught up on episodes and having to wait a full week for the next installment. Tragic. Just tragic. Even though we release episodes #every fucking Monday, the fans do be hungry. This show is made possible by Patreon. We have a ton of great rewards for all tiers. Why, just now, I uploaded a bunch of wacky custom magic items I made to give my players at some recent Goblin Up events. They're absurd, heavily themed, and hopefully inspire you to bring some laughs to the table. There is so much content though, y'all. Maps, monsters, and more. And the highest tiers get to make characters in the world's meta, or get mentioned with their legendary mid-roll teams.
The current legendary mid-roll teams are the Titans Rise, the Twilight Concord, the Ceaseless Horde, and this week's featured team, the Forgotten Legacy, with Chance Llama and username Already Taco. To get a personal message read on the show or for possible advertising opportunities, reach out to admin@slap-studios.com. Follow us on YouTube for live premieres of the new episodes with Dana on Monday night and Pokemon Soul Link Nuzlocke with me and Zach on Wednesday. The mailing address is 2511 Southeast Pine Street, Portland, Oregon 97214 if there's anything you've been dying to send to the cast that we can share on social media, as long as it's not homemade food. And we had a bunch of new cuties show up on the Discord recently, and we really like that. Let's keep it going. But that's enough out of me. Let's get you back to the battle axes.
Are you bad with money? Got a hole in your bank account? Do all your investments turn into regretments? Well, not me. I got loads of banknotes, portfolios, and little graphs with dollar signs that all point upward. What's my secret? I'm a tycoonthrope. When the moon is full, I transform into a stock market genius. I turn penny investments into new houses. I buy low and high and sell higher. I trade the oatmeal cookie my mom packed for me for a whole sleeve of cream-filled chocolate biscuits. I am the werewolf of Wall Street. Part man, part bear, part bull, all cash money. But how do you two become a tycoonthrope? That's why I started Wherewithal. I know some guys. Come on down, we'll talk business. Once we settle on a number, one of my boys will bite you right in the wallet. And bingo bango banana Sunday, come the next full moon, you'll be howling at the big bucks. Wherewithal. Don't be a laughing stock, be a cashing stock. That's a good slogan. It makes sense. Shut up.
As you all board your as yet unnamed ship, the taste of what is unmistakably warm key lime pie in your mouth, surprisingly good, there is a pall that has been cast over the crew. But your struggle is not with the fate of Glen Armistice, for Warren and Dirk have decided they will take care of that particular problem. Instead, the crown stands divided.
Wusha, after having quietly made his last checks to see if the ship is okay to launch, is standing at the wheel, uncharacteristically thinking for a moment before disembarking.
Iavos comes up behind Wusha and places a hand on his back.
What?
Wusha, I know you'll always follow us if we agree on something, even if you don't. I appreciate that, but listen, I feel very similarly about the things Hal did that you do. I don't want to go and build a bridge. I don't want to go and offer an olive branch. I want to tell him the truth and let him make his decision. We owe him that.
I'm well aware of what we owe him. Wusha pulls hard on the wheel, hard enough to make anybody not sitting or holding on to something stumble a little bit, and takes off toward the ring gate.
As you approach, the small device set up next to the helm prompts you for coordinates. What would you like to enter?
Wusha is going to hover his hand over the input and slide the planar map over to a small area called Skanawi. Almost confirming it, his finger is going to slide back over the map until it's at Aetheltoa, and I'll press in there.
I'm glad you're with us, Wusha. I wouldn't want to go without you.
I guess what's good for you is good for the crew.
The ring gate washes with the familiar kaleidoscope of the planar tunnel, and you pass through it onto the plain of Aetheltoa. Below you, her skies are shrouded in the fog of war, gossamer gray, woven with the acrid bite of blood and black powder. You begin your descent at least an hour from Cloudbreak.
There's a knock on Penelope's chamber.
Come in.
It's me, dear. Can we talk for a moment?
Oh, of course.
Go over and sit on the bed next to her and put my arm around her. I have something that I'd want to give you. This place is probably beyond anything we've approached before. We should all be ready. And it seems time that this would be better in your hands. And I'll take out the quill staff of the Illuminator and gesture it out to you.
Your staff, Papa?
I think you can use it well. You've always been a better writer than me anyway.
I don't know what to say. You've carried this for as long as I remember. I've never even touched it, especially when you weren't home.
I know, dear. You were there when I found it. And about what you were saying earlier, I need you to understand that I've seen that part of you. I know it. And it's still in my heart. If it seems like I've been ignoring it, you have to understand it is constantly on my mind. It's in every part of my nightmares, but I still love you. And all I can do is continue feeding you that love and hope that it helps you make your choices.
I love you too, Papa. I just worry. Penny Dreadful thought that she was an inevitability, which means... Am I doomed to either break free of my fate and become like her, or to be consumed by my destiny, like the other me's?
I don't believe it works that way. Everything in prophecy will happen until it doesn't.
I don't think you understand how prophecy works, Papa.
I think we've learned it's a little more flexible than we thought. After everything we've been through, don't forget that you have agency in this. The choice is the beautiful thing.
I want to believe that, Papa. But wasn't that what you told Penny?
I meant it then as well. She didn't get to find out. But you will. And I'll be here either way.
At that, all of your bracelets go from their normal, gently glowing purple to an unlit black. A moment later, there's a click, and they turn back to purple again. A brief display pops above. 5 over 5.
Holy shit, did we just get a perfect score on that tune thing?
Oh, fuck yeah!
We'll converge from our different quarters. Is this what I think it is? Is this our score?
We're getting paid today.
And the bracer lit up again. Did they consider this a new quest?
Yes, I think so. I feel all the eyes on us.
Does this thing show us how much glory we have now? I say fiddling with it, trying to twist things.
You try pressing on it, rubbing it, kind of doing a little spiral on it.
First I rub around it.
You're not exactly sure what you do, but it does finally display your total glory. 3, which is what you had remaining from the last quest, plus 20 from this quest, 5 times the 4 of your proficiency bonus.
And I've got the 2 Quinn that Warren gave us before we left to make up for the glory we used there. We haven't had this much in quite some time. Isn't that good news, Wusha? The 5 over 5 means perfect.
Great.
Well, in a plane of war, glory seems like a good thing to have.
So, how do we find Hal in a world of war? And then, what do we do when we find him?
Seems obvious, doesn't it? You already said it.
That's true. My main intent is to just tell him the truth of what we've learned. Then the ball's in his court, so to speak.
Who knows speak with dead?
I feel I know more than the rest about this subject. Being compelled to do what you don't want to. If for some reason this knowledge that we share frees Hal from this chosen destiny his mother has created, where does he go then? Back to the fallow crown? Would we even take him?
The question hangs in the air. At the moment of Cloudbreak, your hearts begin to pound with the beat of a silent war drum. The flat plain of Aetheltoa is a world divided. A tarnished city of bronze, silver, and gold crumbles under the weight of neglect. To the far side, spires of black iron and red granite lay shattered upon the lifeless earth. But between these topias, you and Dis, lie the no-man's land of the war eternal, Her trenches bloat with the bodies of the dead and deathless. From their rancid blood rise copse and grove writ in onyx across the land. Foul cyclopean arbors spread as the roots of the dark wood begin to envelop the ashes of a heaven that was.
I cannot believe it. The fallow crown is confronting their erstwhile ally and friend, Halifon Orison Jr.
I don't know what he's been up to since Eudaimonia, but let me tell you, Aetheltoa is not looking great.
Indeed. It is truly a shame to see a heavenly plane reduced to ruins.
I can't even imagine what they're gonna say to him. Hey, numbnuts, your mom's killed your pops. Later?
Perhaps information isn't the only thing they wish to bring to the Holy Halberd.
You don't mean... They wouldn't try to settle the score with him, would they?
I don't know, Sarge. The fact is, for all their history, Halithorn did betray them.
Wow. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little excited to see the crown go toe-to-toe with their ally turned nemesis.
Oh, thank the gods. I thought I was the only one.
Are you kidding me? It's all I've been thinking about since he killed Wusha and dipped off to help his nasty mama.
It would seem he's not taking his duties as Darkwood champion lightly.
Hey, if the Darkwood's on Aetheltoa, what does that mean for the cosmos?
I don't know, Sarge. I don't know.
Drama boat, baby. Drama boat. We're on the drama boat, baby. Drama
I don't like
boat.
Sad Shaw. He's a grumpy boy.
You don't like Boo-Hoo Shaw?
You just stole it right out of my mouth.
Oh, yes. Very good.
He's a big man with big feelings. That's just how he works.
How he do be.
Do we got some Favy Momos?
That was a really cool episode.
Favy Momos.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a.
It was the right amount of us being emotional and then Dirk and Warren doing some goofy stuff.
Yes. I honestly was not confident I would be able to like do Dirk without being written. And I'm just like, lean into it. Feel the Dirk flow through you.
We're
you
in
both
his
took
backyard.
that really naturally. Like for everyone at home, Dirk and Warren were ad-libbed, and that was like pretty much almost just one take.
I mean, you spend like 100 hours recording a character. You figure out how they think.
Yeah. I felt so bad about the last friggin' episode because I was like, man, I'm just really not doing Dirk justice. And I'm like, I justified it by being like, oh, he did just wake up from basically a magical coma.
Yeah. He was in a stupor.
My challenge is Warren in the world knows a lot more about what's going on than Law does because I'm just a player at the table, but I still have to play him smart enough to do things.
Right.
Well, for Favo Momo, just because it's difficult to pick your own, I'd say the bequeathing of the quill staff.
Fuck, that was so fucking good.
That was mine.
Jesus, that was so good.
I was almost going to pick that, and I did it. Just because I fucking love daddy-daughter scenes. And it's such a you don't see it in D&D.
It was very touching, and thank you. And I don't know what it does.
Usually that happens when
It's on the Discord.
when the parent dies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Shadow.
Oh shit!
Or maybe I just got a new pokey stick that's better suited for me narratively.
Boo-hoo-sha.
My favorite moment was the many descriptions of hot energy drinks shake.
Yeah.
Can I tell a really quick story?
Sure.
Oh, no.
Me and Suzanne were going through a fucking Dutch Bros to get some coffee at one point in time, right? And I decided to get one of like the blended Red Bull drinks, yeah? And I stumbled over the word like blended, frozen, whatever, and I looked at the fucking the person working there and I was like, does anybody get it any other way? And she stopped and she was like, I have one customer who regularly gets that drink steamed. Which almost made me fucking vomit in the car right then and there. Hey, listeners, if you drink hot, syrupy, mixed Red Bull, stay the hell away from me.
No. Hot Kool-Aid works.
I'd try it.
Hot Red Bull works too.
Hot Kool-Aid is just Jell-O before it's set.
Yes, but energy drink.
Also good.
Also, just as a side note, if you heat up Coca-Cola and drink it, it is so sweet, it's almost unbearable. It is designed to be drank cold or room temperature. Any soda, because of the sheer volume of sugar is almost unimbibable.
Yeah.
Just
so
a-
actually, it's
Fascinating.
healther if we all just drink hot soda because
Yes.
we
Then
can
we'll drink
reduce
less
the
of it?
sugar.
That is the essence of what I'm trying to.
That's how we. That's how we help America.
I like the idea of drinking unset Jello shots. Just hot little cups of sugar juice.
I was gonna do Dirk and Warren. I really appreciate having like pouty wuxia and like really committing to it, because that's something we frequently need on this team, and I love that. I love how divisive the topic of Hal is, and I love what you bring to the table with that. On a side note, the thing I thought about doing that just never came around was just like, hey Dirk, want to learn to do miracles? I'll also teach you the secret pearl handshake.
I feel so bad. There was a line that Angelo dropped that I really liked, and it's totally like slipped out of my mind. But when he said it, I was like, I like that a lot. And now I can't say it, so it's worthless.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh,
fuck yeah.
If he said it like that.
Go say every line you've already done.
Just retake this whole episode.
Look, I'm the one who said it, and I forgot everything.
Hey, remember that line that really fucking slapped ass?
No.
We love that one.
I'm so fucking singular.
Wait, Angelo,
I
you
only live
spoke
in the
this
present.
episode?
Ooh.
It's funny. We're gonna re-listen to it and
I'm
remember
pretty
what
sure
it
I
was, though.
smoked Armistice, which might be.
I don't think that was it, but I also did like when Penny asked if Caspar wanted his shoes.
I wanted to respond to that, but we kept moving.
it's better to
only
keep
on
moving.
principle.
Yeah, I've never loved the trope of, hey, the villain is now incapacitated, let's be really mean to him, because I just feel like it robs the previous scene of its tension almost retroactively. But that was all really funny.
I almost had a line I was going to feed him from Warren that was like, "You run the AAA, you know the rules in the league. If someone gets beaten, you take their stuff."
No, mine was like, oh, I don't collect heads anymore. I guess I gotta start collecting something else.
Shoe collection.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I feel the exact same way, and I think hitting him would be way over the top. But taking his stuff at the moment was funny to me.
Yeah. I kind of wish you had said that line. That would have been a juicy line of just like,
Just
you know the rules.
relating it to LUQ makes it more funny because I even as a DM, the second they're down, they go loot hungry hyena. It takes me out of it, but like, approaching it with some reverence and caution.
There was like enough of a downtime that we like there was at least 5 minutes before he just started robbing the man blind.
I mean, technically, we had an entire month for us.
Yeah, not just him. His work is just like.
I have a quick clarifying question. Through force of habit, would Gaspar only take like one shoe from each?
Dude, that would be wuxia.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like we retcon it, I'm taking those shoes. We're starting it.
I feel like we've covered enough favorite moments, but I will say you prompting me to just come up with something that was on Glen Armistice, and I'm like, water lighter, perfect,
Wet
done.
lighter.
Oh
Locked in,
yeah, no,
baby.
I was actually about to ad lib just like some silvers and a membership card somewhere, but that was
The Drippo.
Drippo! Oh my God, is
That's
that
an
a
ad.
commercial? I feel like that's
a
an ad.
commercial. Yeah.
Drippo lighter.
The Drippo lighter.
All
I
right.
fucking love it.
All right.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming and listening. I really, 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 really love this chapter. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I want to thank Brie Golden for making all the maps that she has done. And honestly, she's been pumping them out so fast and so hard.
She's been busy.
Yeah, she's been making maps for other people, and I'm really excited about that. And just generally, it's been doing great. Sam, as usual, does a fantastic job, and I hope you're excited to see that this episode clocks in at 1 hour, 5 minutes instead of the usual 1 hour, 35.
Fuck yes.
Woo!
Hell
We kept
yeah.
it tight.
Kissy noise.
We love you, Sam.
Yeah, we made a promise to make short episodes and then immediately made a lot of long ones.
Hell yeah. Progress isn't linear.
We're all about consistency here.
This episode's going to end up being 20 minutes long.
But I'm glad we've got it into a tight, like, crisp hour-ish, and I hope he's excited to see that. And more importantly, I hope you're excited to see the next episode. But until we get there, we wish you luck.
And I am back, everybody. Yeah, Bree's been busy. But yeah, that was the episode. I hope you all liked it. I thought there's some pretty funny stuff. I always like when we have a little time to just kind of role play amongst the cast. And I always like when Penny is a little bit serious. So that one, I remember doing that one. That one was pretty fun. Yeah. Like it was all kind of transition into the next chapter, but some of those episodes are really good. It's where we get most of our downtime. I forgot about Drippo, so I'm glad we re-listened and remembered that. And I agree with what Law said earlier. I think we got the straight 5 for like in-world politics reasons, because at best we should have gotten a 4.5 on that, really, because of the things y'all mentioned. So I'm interested. I don't think it'll come up again. I don't think it's that big. I think it's addressed in the meta a little bit. Maybe I got to re-listen to it. I didn't really get what was going on quite, but yeah, and I hope it came through, because that's actually what I was thinking, was like, per league rules, because he is a downed, quest bad guy, like, we are entitled to his shit. That's what I was thinking at the time. I believe... Okay, so quick asterisk here. I still don't understand all the little details of the Glen Armistice situation. But I believe Dirk's biological father is Hal's mom. And I think there is a detailed rundown in spoilers. It's probably your best bet, because I'm definitely not the source of truth on that, but that's what I think. Or maybe I don't get it. I don't know. Wolf's usually good at this stuff. So, do y'all have any questions that I can answer? Because that whole situation's a little bit above my head. Also, I think there's a slightly bigger lag on YouTube that I need to get used to. But yeah. I think the Gaspar line, I agree with the chat. I think it most likely was, that's not the compliment you think it is, in response to Glen Armistice. I think that's probably right. But of course, Max would be the expert on whether or not that's the line. I mean, I caused it, but I didn't come up with it. Yeah, and like I said, I was just going to ad-lib, like, just things that would be in someone's pockets, and not make it, like, real looty. But then, like, Zach came in with that, and that was very good. But, no, if that gets written, it likely will not be me. It did not come from my brain, simply from my hands. Halifon and Dirk are half-brothers. I'm fairly certain of that. In fact, like 90% certain that that's correct. Oh, that totally makes sense. I get it. Thank you, Ace Bounty. That clicks the last couple pieces in for me. That totally makes sense. Oh, I love playing with Max. The whole table is actually amazing. They're all really fun to play with. Max is really fun to fuck around with. Like, he fucks around like no one else at this table. And just like out in the wild, if you ever were to see just like him and Angelo be him and Angelo, they're hilarious together, because they're really old friends, and they're just hilarious as a duo. Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I love items that do enough of a thing that you can kind of figure out some kind of a use for them, but not, but don't really have a function. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure Zeus ever took someone's specific form, though. That I know he did some weird stuff. I'm not sure he ever did that, but I might be wrong. Zeus got up to some stuff, but Uther Pendragon definitely did. When Morgana Le Fay was conceived. Right. So no, we did not get to keep any of those items. The line kind of got erased in the edit here, but so everyone else kind of got things from the chair thing, and then Wuxia got to pick one item from Toontown to take back with him, and I was arguing for the potato, but he ended up taking Dorabella, and leaving behind the Closet Club and all the other items. All the shape changing, all of them, all the shape changing gods got up to some things. That is for sure. But yeah, yeah. To kind of get back on the conversation we were having before we played the episode. Yeah, when I talk about the book, I'm talking about The Blooms That Feed on Fire, which was the prequel adventure anthology that we crowdfunded for TPK. And we're probably halfway through it overall. A lot of the writing is done. And then we're kind of on art, and I'm trying to get all of that together so I can pass it all off to layout. That's kind of where we're at, and it's going good. But one thing that I'm not sure if I shared last week that we announced via email recently, so I can definitely share it, but a couple of our writers had to drop, and so they exited the project, and we needed a new writer with a quick turnaround. So we ended up hiring one Zachary Barkis to write a one-shot adventure in this prequel anthology. So if any of y'all crowdfunded it or buy it in the future, because it'll still be available, there's a one-shot by Zachary and a one-shot by me. So that's exciting, even though I don't know, mine's more of a dungeon crawl and a boss fight because it's the capstone of all of it, but yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Wolf. Oh, that's a great question, Reshpen. I admittedly don't know all the rules for Dirk, but theoretically, anywhere there can be a Dirk, there eventually will be a Dirk. So right now, I believe he's the only one, but we might, who knows, we might see more Dirks appear in other planes, and that's honestly terrifying. I'm guessing, Reshpen, that you're talking about of visiting the brewery. I assume there's a lag in here of probably like 30-40 seconds. In which case, yeah, that's, I wish all the cuties could visit. But even if they can't, theoretically, if everything goes the way that we want it to, all of the original stuff that we write and run will also be published and available online on our website in PDF form. So people will be able to follow along in their own way if they choose to, which will be cool. My only rule is the rule of cool. But yeah, and that's what's consuming my life at the moment. So I don't have a terrible lot of other things to talk about. My dog is excited because someone just came to the door. You probably hear him. But yeah, anything else before we call it a night? Happy Monday, everyone. The brewery construction is going good. We have an upstairs and a roof now. We don't have stairs that go to the upstairs, but they're blocked out, so it's getting there. And then I also talked today with some of the people working on some of the decorations and things, so it's coming along. If once I have pictures that are substantially different than just construction pictures, I'll make sure I share them. Aw, we'd love to see you at Rose City. That's a really good question, Reshpin. I actually had not thought about it until this episode. But it's kind of like, so with the Quill Staff, it's kind of like those VR games where you art like in 3D. So I think she'd probably just draw some stuff and then like, you know, hear him walking up and like quickly erase everything and put it back where it's supposed to be. And for her, probably just flowers and bees and maybe animals and stuff. You know, she probably drew Iavos, now that I think about it. At least one time or another. But, yeah. So I've got to go check on this door thing. But, thank you all so much for joining us this week. Lots of exciting stuff coming, so, you know, get hyped, hopefully. But, oh, definitely Sorcerer's Apprentice, 100%. But everyone have a fantastic rest of your week. Feel free to hit me up in the Discord if you want to chat about anything or if you have any questions. But until next time, we wish you luck.